Welcome, York Academy, and if your family is joining you, welcome, family members. This is Miss Reed, and I am the school counselor here at the upper school. Today, we are going to be talking about your PSAT NMSQT scores. By now, you have already taken your PSAT NMSQT, and you're probably wondering, what is my score, and how will I know if it's good, bad, or indifferent? All right, so first, before we talk about scores, we want to go over what are some of the benefits of taking the PSAT and MSQT. So there are several benefits to taking this assessment. When you link your College Board account with your Khan Academy account, Khan Academy will use the PSAT and MSQT scores to design a practice plan and practice questions that are tailored to each of your strengths and areas for improvement. Khan Academy is completely free, and so is College Board. And the practice test questions on Khan Academy are created with College Board approval. So this is the best SAT practice that is available. Another benefit for taking the PSAT and MSQT is that your online score reports are available tools for college and career planning. You can use things like Big Future and Roadmap to Careers to investigate your academic interests and college career options. We'll be doing a lesson on that shortly if you haven't already received it. Another benefit to taking the PSAT and MSQT, of course, is that you are automatically screened for the National Merit Scholarship Program, which is an academic competition for recognition and scholarships. So, how do I even access my PSAT and MSQT scores and reports? Well, there are two ways. You can review your scores online or you can receive a paper score. The easiest and most convenient way to access your PSAT and MSQT scores is online. You will receive an email once your scores are ready, and you will be provided a link to access your account and view your scores. If you do not have access to that email that I just mentioned, the easiest way for you to access your scores is to go to your College Board account. If you haven't already created your free College Board account, please do so now. Go to studentscores.collegeboard.org and click sign up under the sign in spaces and input your personal information under create your account. Once you've done that, you'll be redirected to your SAT Suite of Assessment score reporting portal with your most recent test showing first. Since you have only taken the PSAT and MSQT, that is the only test that should show up. If your most recent test, which is the test that I'm focusing on right now, if that is missing, you can go to the bottom of the screen for suggestions to find your scores under Don't See Your Scores. When you click on that, you'll click Matching Tool and you'll verify and update your information to get your scores. You must remember that your email address must match your registration information for the scores to be loaded onto the account. So whatever email address you use to register, um, or whichever email address you used on your PSAT and MSQT should be the same email address that you use to access your scores. If you're having any trouble with that, College Board has an awesome customer service. If you would like to get in contact with them, their phone number is 866 433 7728, or you can email them at psathelp@info.collegeboard.org. All right, so what will I learn about my scores? When you log onto your College Board account, you'll be taken to a dashboard entry like the one that you see on the left. And you'll have access to links to popular tools like student search and SAT registration. The first thing you'll see on your dashboard is your PSAT and MSQT score. The total score ranges from 320 to 1520, and it's the sum of your math section score added to your evidence-based reading and writing section score. When you click the arrow next to your score, you'll be taken to your detailed score report. At the top of the screen, you'll see your total score again. The example here on the right of your screen is IMA. IMA's total score is a 960 with a 430 in evidence-based reading and writing and a 530 in math. Below your total score, you'll find your section scores. Your evidence-based reading and writing score is on the left, and your scaled score that you earn from the reading test and the writing and language test combined. Your math score is to the right, and it's indicated as a 530 here on the example, and it is scaled. It is the scaled score that you earned from taking the math test. Both of these section scores are on a scale of 160 to 760 on the PSAT and NMSQT, and they're added together to get the total score. However, on the SAT, the range for these section scores is 200 to 800. So for each score, you'll be able to see the range of maximum and minimum scores. And under those scores, you can click on it to see that range, what that range is. So the PSAT and NMSQTs should be interpreted as ranges rather than singular numbers, because your score might vary slightly if you had taken different versions of the test under the exact same conditions. So that link will tell you how your score range is based on the score that you received. And with each of those three scores, you'll be presented with your nationally representative sample percentile. This number is the percentile rank, which is the percentage of scores that fall below your score. And this percentile rank is going to be for all students in the United States in the same grade as you who took the test. It's a norm reference group of all US students in your grade, regardless of if they would typically take the PSAT and NMSQT. And it's derived from research study samples. So if you look at the slide, a score of 960 means that IMA performed better than 51% of students nationally. Her evidence-based reading and writing score is in the 31st percentile, and her math is in the 90 or the 69th percentile. And you'll be able to see all of this on your score report as well. The great thing about the PSAT and NMSQT is that it gauges how you will do on your SAT next year, or in the spring of your junior year. So you'll receive a predicted score range for your next assessment. And as an 11th grader, you'll receive a prediction for the SAT, of course, because that will be your next score or your next assessment. Your predicted score is just an initial projection based on what you scored on your PSAT and NMSQT. So it may include a lower score than what you actually earned on the PSAT and NMSQT, but it's based on the growth of students who scored between the 10th and 90th percentiles. And you can use that predicted information as a motivator to continue to practice and prepare for the SATs. So looking at IMA again on this slide, we know that she has earned a 430 on the evidence-based reading and writing, and it indicates that she is almost on track to meet grade level benchmarks. So this projected score is between a 450 and a 560. So how did your score measure against your grade level benchmarks? So you'll see your numerical score for each section, test, and subscore. And that section score graphic will show you where you fell on a continuum, and it's colored to demonstrate how that score responds to grade level benchmarks. There's a grade level benchmark for evidence-based reading, writing, and a grade level benchmark for math. If you meet the grade level benchmark and you're on track for meeting the corresponding college readiness benchmark on the SAT, it'll indicate that in green. If your score falls in the red area of the graphic, it means that you need to strengthen your skills. It means that you are more than 1 year below your grade level benchmark. If your score falls in the yellow part of the graphic, it means that you're approaching the benchmark or that you're below the grade level benchmark by less than 1 year. And again, if your score falls in the green, that means that you're right on track. So what do all of these scores mean? So you're going to get a lot of information and a lot of in-depth information about your performance on the PSAT and NMSQT. You're going to receive your test scores, cross-test scores, and sub-test scores that are intended to give you insightful information about what you're doing really well at and where you need to improve. So your test scores for the PSAT and NMSQT range from an 8 to a 38. And when you review your test score, you can discover if you perform better on reading the reading test or the writing or the language and literature test or the writing and language and literature test, which together, added up together, produce the evidence-based reading and writing section score. So for example, in the slide, Ima scored a 23 and is in the yellow on the reading test, indicating that he is below the average student performance of those who met that benchmark by 1 year or less in reading. If you look at the writing and language test, he earned a 20 and is in the green, which of course means that he meets or exceeds the benchmark. In math, he earned a 26.5 and in his score is in the red in that area, which means that he needs more than a year's worth of growth in order to meet the average score of students who met that grade level benchmark. The range for those subscores is 1 to 15. 3 subscores are generated from the math section, and it includes the heart of algebra, problem solving, and data analysis, and passport to advanced math. Those 4 subscores are generated from the evidence-based reading and writing section. Of those 4 scores, 2 are generated from the reading or from the writing and language test only, and that's expression of ideas in standard English conventions, and then command of evidence in words and context are derived from the questions in both the reading test and the writing and language test. In the sample on the slide, Ima got a 7 and he is in the yellow on words and context, but he earned a 9 and is in the green on command of evidence. So he has a pretty strong idea of where he falls as far as strengths and weaknesses and what he needs to work on um, to improve. And you'll have all of this information as well. So you know what sections in particular you need to improve upon. So those cross-test scores that I mentioned, they are pulled from questions related to science or history and social studies on that reading test and your writing and language test and the math test, of course. And the range for those cross-test scores is between 8 and 38. So now that you've learned all of that information about your PSAT and MSQT scores, what can you do to improve those academic skills that you may have been either in the yellow or maybe even in the red? So you have access to a skills insight tab that's on the top of your score report screen. And the skills insight gives you more information about the knowledge and the skills that you've demonstrated, and then the knowledge and the skills on that you need to focus on for growth. That skills insight connects you to focus areas that relate to the subscores and the skills that are assessed. And you can click on the question box to see the questions that are associated with those specific skills and subscores. There's also a link at the top of the page that will connect you to Khan Academy. If you don't already have your Khan Academy account set up, go ahead and set that up. It's free. And if you link your College Board account to your Khan Academy account, Khan Academy will send over your scores so that, or College Board will send over your scores to Khan Academy so that you can receive a free online personalized practice program. So go ahead and do that if you haven't already done it already. And then you'll be able to look at your test questions from the PSAT and MSQT using your test questions tab on the score report screen or by clicking the questions button on the test score screen, if that is available. For most PSAT and NMSQT administrations, students can see the question content and answer explanation in their scores, but not all students can see that, and not all test administrations offer that. So if it's available for you, go ahead and take advantage of that, because you can review the questions and the content. Um, as long as those numbers are hyperlinked on the test questions page, you can view all of that, and you can really benefit from reviewing the questions that you might have missed on the exam, and then you can understand what the correct answer actually was, and then you can start thinking about why you selected the incorrect answer and how to move forward in your practice. All right, so you're going to be able to identify your questions, like I said, that you answer incorrectly, and you can determine whether or not you missed more questions that were at a higher level of difficulty, a medium level of difficulty, or were they really easy. And if you're missing more difficult questions, maybe you need to practice with more um, challenging coursework. So you can also look at the questions that you might have skipped, and you can look at, okay, I skipped these questions. Were they more difficult? Are they associated with a particular subscore or cross-test score? What what is relatable about the questions that I skipped? And how can I work on, improving those areas? As a reminder, the PSAT, NMSQT, and the SAT do not penalize you for incorrect answers. So give it your best and answer every single question that you can when you take the SATs, even if you know that an answer is incorrect, but you just don't know what the answer is. Give it your best shot and choose something. Again, you won't be penalized for getting an answer incorrect. So points will not be deducted from you for receiving an incorrect answer. All right, so this is the moment that a lot of you have been waiting for, and I appreciate your patience. The National Merit Scholarship Program. This is probably one of the main reasons why a lot of students take the PSAT and MSQT. If you're not familiar with the National Merit Scholarship Program, it is really best known for connecting students with a lot of scholarship opportunities. It's an academic competition for recognition scholarship, and it began in 1955. And College Board has been partnered with them since 1971 so that they can offer the National Merit Scholarship to students. So, of the 1.5 million students who take the PSAT and MSQT, about 50,000 students with the highest scores, and that is indicated by your selection index score, will qualify for recognition in the National Merit Scholarship Program. And then in September of your senior year, your high scores are then notified to me, and then I'll let you know, and we will discover if you were either qualified as a commended student or a semifinalist. So when you log in to your score report, you will have instant access to your National Merit Scholarship Selection Index. You can find that at the bottom of your score report by clicking here, by clicking the click here button at the bottom of the PSAT and MSQT overview score page. Your selection index scores, like I mentioned before, um, which are important in deciding whether or not you qualify. That's the qualifying score. Those scores are calculated by doubling the sum of your reading, your writing and language, and your math scores. If there is an asterisk next to the number, like you see in the example right here to the right, that means that the student is not eligible for competition during this test administration. Unfortunately, you can only take the PSAT and MSQT one time. So if you do not have that, if you have that asterisk next to your selection index score, that means that unfortunately you did not qualify for the scholarship program. If you do not have the asterisk next to your number, of course, that means that you did qualify for the National Merit Scholarship Program, and that is amazing. All right, so what's up next? So, of course, you're going to continue taking your challenging courses in DP. You are going to link your scores from College Board to your Khan Academy account. If you have not done so already, go ahead and get your account set up. Set up a practice plan. Even if you take 20 minutes a day to practice on Khan Academy, that's better than nothing. So set up a plan and stick to it. Register for the SAT. If you would like to take the SAT essay portion or version of the SAT, you will need to register for that on your own. The SAT will be offered to you at no cost here at school during your junior year, the spring of your junior year, and then again in the fall of your senior year. So again, we will be offering that here at school, and you'll receive more information about that. You'll receive that here at school. You don't have to register for it. We already took care of it for you. And then also you can go out and research other ways to prepare for college and take advantage of different opportunities that'll help you get prepared for college. So again, Khan Academy, go ahead and sign up for it if you haven't already done so. You'll have access to tons of official SAT questions that are written and reviewed by College Board. You'll have access to 6 full-length SAT tests, and you can access your official SAT practice on a computer, or they also have an app, and it's called Daily SAT Practice, or you can download the Khan Academy app on your phone and you can practice that way. So Khan Academy, of course, creates a personalized learning plan for you based on your test scores, but you have to link your College Board account with your Khan Academy account so that they can create that for you. And it also provides tons of videos that can help tutor you in the areas in which you need help. And of course, download it, create your account. If you need the link for my specific class, I'll be happy to provide that for you again. So like I said, in order to receive that kind of personalized practice that'll benefit you greatly, you need to log on to your Khan Academy account, and you'll need to log into your College Board account. So if you need help linking those two, what you're going to do is you're going to log into your Khan Academy account, and it should ask you to link the account. You'll be prompted to link your Khan Academy account and your College Board account when you log in. And when you agree to link the accounts, you'll be redirected to your College Board account. And then when you reach College Board, you'll need to sign in, of course. And after signing into College Board, you'll be asked to authorize the linking of those two accounts. And it'll kind of look like that, to authorize those two accounts. And you'll go ahead and click that. And this allows Khan Academy to access the scores that are related to the SAT suite of assessments. So when you take the SAT as well, you'll be able to receive even more personalized SAT practice for your senior year, since you will have taken it in your junior year. You'll see a screen also that will clarify that you're agreeing to the link. Go ahead and click send on that, and then you'll be redirected back to the official SAT practice on Khan Academy. And you can choose to remove that link. I don't recommend that, but you do have the option to remove that link by clicking revoke in the College Board account settings. So that is all that I have for you today. I know it was a lot of information, but I wanted to get it to you before you received your scores, so that when you do receive your scores, you're not overwhelmed and you're not frustrated seeing all of that information and not understanding what it means. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I wish you the best. I know that you guys are amazing students and you guys are going to do so well. I'm so proud of you.